if you're like me, you really like the TGR platform. And when I say really like, I mean like I've got options. Um, I've got options available to me, plenty of them. But I keep coming back to the TGR platform, and coming back and coming back. I don't know why. I just really like the weight. I like the way it shoots. I just like it. And I like the consistency. I like the efficiency. I think it's a really good marker. Really underrated. The problem it has, of course, is that these mags can't feed first strike for crap. And I have found so many ways to make this thing successfully feed first strikes, and I think I'm on my final one, but that's not what this video is about. This video is about a single modification that you have to make to the TGR, regardless of what mag you are using, what system you are using to feed first strikes. I've gotten them to work with these mags, although there's effort involved, quite a bit. I've gotten them to work with the 12-round mags, a little less effort. I've gotten them to work with hybrid mags. I've gotten them to work with the Grizzon mags. I've gotten them to work with T15 mags, although that's a whole separate problem, and if you really want me to rant about why I didn't continue down that path, I'll make another video, just ask for it. And finally, of course, the mag that I recently produced. Now, the thing that has been true of every one of these solutions, every time I have gotten this thing to shoot first strike well, is that it requires a slight modification to the bolt. The bolt here, I mean, it's a really nice bolt. The Mod 3 system is great. It's efficient. It works at lower pressures than the previous systems. But there is a slight problem with it. Here we go. The problem is there's no real, like, chamfered edge. There's no ramp. There's no nothing. If you measure this thing, it's, what was that? It's about 17.2. If you measure a first strike, let's spin this a bit so that we're not between the fins. Right about 17.2. Okay, that's too perfect, and here's why. First strikes don't sit on top of each other like this. They kind of do this, where one fin will sit in the gap between the fins of the round below it. So when you go to shoot this top round out, if your bolt is exactly the same diameter as your first strike, you're going to catch that little bit of fin right there. You might crack it, you might flip it. It's been a problem. And the solution to it is to grind a little ramp into the bolt right here. That's something that our, our friends who use Falcon and Milsig have been doing for a while, and it doesn't take much of a ramp. How little of a ramp? Well, let me show you. This is a brand new Mod 3. I haven't even shot the thing yet. That's how confident I am that this thing is, that this modification is necessary. I haven't even shot with this thing yet. And I'm going to change it, because this is the only way I've ever gotten this marker to consistently shoot first strikes. I have this nice little jig here. The STL will be free if you know people who 3D print. If not, contact me. We'll work something out. It won't cost much. So what you do is you take your bolt and you put it in the jig. Now, To prevent you from putting it in upside down, I made this little window. Pretty easy rule. If you can't see the hole, it's in backwards. If you can see the hole, you're good. You want to be ramping the bottom of the bolt. How do you do that? Well, you can take a file, you can take sandpaper, you can power tools, whatever. I honestly, I just do it with my Leatherman. The file on my Leatherman has been fine for this. So I'll hold the bolt in here, start with the more aggressive side of it, and just grind it. Now, once I get down to the point where I'm even with the plastic, I was using the crosshatch side here. I'll use the straight file system here, or the straight cut side, in order to smooth this out a bit. And there you have it. That's all it takes. It's just that little bit right there. That is the difference between the TGR being able to shoot first strikes well and not. Well, one of the differences. That is the difference between the bolt being a problem and the bolt not being a problem. After that, take your rag, whatever, clean up the metal filings. Nice part about this is the way it's done, you really can't get metal filings in the bolt unless you're really sloppy about it. So yeah, there it is. Just that little grind right there. That's all it takes. And that will allow it to not crack and chop or flip the next first strike in line.